Previously on the last Pokémon Crystal challenge run. He needs to get some anti-Delulu pills in him. And coming up, Chuck, you suck. Welcome back to 4 Moves. This is the series where we grab a Pokemon, we give it 4 moves, and we see just how long it takes us to defeat Red. Sometimes we get through in a very, very fast time, and we can say we had a very good run, and other times, well, it's a little bit slow, isn't it? And today we are going to be running Sudowoodo, and quite honestly, I have no idea how well Sudowoodo's going to do. It will either do very, very well and surprise us, or we will be in for a real old tussle and struggle. Now, Sudowoodo, for a rock type, actually has a lot of type diversity. However, that comes with a caveat. We have a lot of special moves on that learn set. And look at that, we've only got 30 in our special attack. So I think we might be avoiding those special attacks while we pick our learn set. I've still not fully decided while I'm recording this part of the intro, so I'm now going to go off for a few minutes and try and figure out exactly what I think are the best moves. And I tell you what, why don't you do the same? So I have had a little think about what moves I want to give this Sudowoodo, and I'm actually going fairly risky by my standards here in 4 moves. The first move we're going to get is Rollout, and that might surprise a lot of you, because I generally poo-poo rollouts here on the channel and say it's not a very good move. I still stand by that for the most part, but I think in this instance it will actually come in fairly beneficial. The next move we're going to learn is going to be Earthquake. Earthquake is just an all-round fantastic move. We're going to be sacrificing 2 base power versus return, but we get access to a 100 base power move at the very beginning of the challenge. In move slot number 1, I am going to go for Rock Slide. It's not a great move, but it is good in terms of rock type move standards. That will be our 3rd move. And then I don't know whether to hold on to Mimic for our 4th move. I think that could be really fun, but I also think it could be very, very slow. The other idea I have is Sunny Day. I think Sunny Day is probably going to be more beneficial than Mimic. I'm thinking back to the last challenge we did together, where Clair had some nasty times for us, and Sunny Day didn't save us there, but it might have helped if we'd have played a little bit smarter and had some better moves. So yeah, we will go for Sunny Day. So our moves are absolutely ridiculous in this challenge. Let's take a look at our stats. We're level 5 with 23 HP, holding a berry with Rock Slide, Sunny Day, Rollout and Earthquake. What a weird learn set. 16 in attack, 18 in defense, just 9 in special attack, 13 in special defense, and then again 9 in speed. We've got perfect DVs on our Sudowoodo. If we were running Hidden Power, as you can see on the overlay, it would be Hidden Power Dark at 70 power. I've changed my mind about Sunny Day. We're going full scumbag strategies. We've got the Mud Slap out instead. And with that, let's get this challenge underway. Now, normally on 4 moves, I absolutely would not have just 2 offensive types. However, it just so happens that Rock and Ground synergize really, really well together. There are only 2 types that are resisted by Rock and Ground type moves, those being Grass Ground and Grass Fighting. And I don't think we face any of those because they don't exist in Generation 2. If memory serves me correctly, I think the first Grass Ground was probably Torterra, the evolved form of Turtwig, in Generation 4, and then Grass Fighting, the only one I can think of, is Chestnut from Gen 6. Probably missing a couple of those from earlier generations, but they're the first ones that came into my head. Please do let me know if I have just told lies about Pokemon there, but it would kind of be apt, wouldn't it? Sudowoodo lies about being a tree. What's not to love about that? It's one of my all-time favourite Pokemon as a result. We annoy it in every single challenge run, so it deserves its time in the spotlight again. It has been probably about 3 years. I think we ran it in the summer of 2023. I don't have that data on hand, but I'm fairly certain we did, and I remember it came somewhere towards the top of page 2 of the leaderboard in that particular challenge. Really happy with the time back then, but I think now that we've got a lot better at Pokémon Crystal, we will do an awful lot quicker run this time. Of course, it's not like for like, because we did a standard classic style challenge run, and we are now doing the 4 moves format primarily here on this channel. By the way, if you do want to see any of the old challenge run videos, there is a link in a description not in any old description, in this description, to the challenge run archive page on my website. Over there you can get links to every single challenge run video and stream we have done. I say every single one. I do have to manually update the video links, but the times are there. So if you ever go there and a link is missing, please do let me know, because I quite often forget to do the updating of the links when I update the challenge times. The challenge times themselves are actually done completely automatically. When I record a video, I log it into my database, and then it automatically checks for any videos that have come out since the last update, and it adds those to the website. It's all very, very cool and complex. Took a very long time to code, but I am incredibly proud of how that works. I've really, really found a passion for coding through doing Generation 2 challenge runs. Back when I started this channel, I hadn't a bloody clue how to code anything. And look at us now with people like Snowy and Dan's help. We've got the automatic overlay, we've got the challenge run archive, we've got our own custom version of Pokémon Crystal, and it is a very, very different experience to how I did those first few runs where I'd have to manually type everything on the overlay to make it look like it automatically updated. Now, Falkner's going to be a bit of a pain in the arse for this particular challenge. He is, in theory, going to be a very easy gym leader, but in practice I don't think that's going to be the case because of that move there, Mud Slap. There's no sense in healing. We are going to hit this or we're going to miss. And we've hit, so we don't need to fret. We get through our first gym and we get the Zephyr badge in 3 minutes and 35 seconds. There's Falkner's title card. Better late than never for that. I'm very glad we've seen it now. Makes me feel a little bit better about the coding for the title card system. That's actually another thing that has been coded. I used to do those in the post cut on the edit, but now I've got a controller button on my Xbox controller because I play with controller that will automatically do things like the gym leader title cards. It also automatically splits the times for me so I don't have to worry about any of that. So I can put my entire focus on talking and doing the challenge. Now, I say I can put my focus on talking. You may notice my voice is still very, very, very strained. I'm actually feeling fairly good again physically now, but I sound absolutely bloody horrific. I don't know what it is with this virus. It is just lingering in the old vocal cords. So I'm doing my best to try and sound as good as I can, but I know I'm not going to be sounding at perfect vocal capacity compared to how I normally do in these videos. I had another virus that lingered probably about the start of 2023-2024 as well, somewhere at the beginning of a year, and my voice was very similar to how it is now, but in fact it was even worse than it is now. Now, thinking about this challenge as opposed to me, that's very big-headed to talk about myself for that long, I think we're in for a fairly good time with most of the opponents that we're going to come up against. But then there are going to be 3 trainers that I think will be absolutely horrific to face. Those being Jasmine, Chuck, and Clair. I think those 3 are going to be our major roadblocks, at least in the first part of this challenge. When we get to Kanto, we will be very over-leveled, so I don't think that the type matchups will matter quite as much. I am worried about Blue's Ride-On, but we will cross that bridge when we come to it. I'm hoping that just having so many levels advantage over most of the Kantonian trainers will see us fit. Now, I was tempted to get a fighting type move in this challenge, but I decided against it because I think Mud Slap might end up being a much better choice in the long term. Oh, we're very poor in this challenge. We are 4 Pokédollars shy of being able to afford our regular amount of super potions. Nope, that's upstairs in the Pokemon Center. We don't want to go there. Instead, we want to have a little chat with Kurt. The Rock type, similarly to the Ice type, has a very good start in the Johto challenge as well. We have a very nice matchup against Falkner, providing we can hit him. And then, again, at Bugsy, we have the super effective type matchup as well. So we don't need to worry at all about our first 2 gyms together. We've got Earthquake for a lot of coverage as well. That's going to be incredibly handy. The only trouble with running Earthquake is it means that we don't have a 100% accurate move that will hit flying-type Pokemon. That's kind of why we've got the old rollout out, though. It is going to be risky, but I think having Stab rollout might actually work in our favour. I'm thinking with Lance in particular, that could do a lot of damage against his Dragonite. We can set up against the Gyarados, hope that it goes for Rain Dance, and take it from there. There is also some fun we can have with Red a little bit later on using the rollout move, because there is some tech in Generation 2 that means that Red will be less likely to go for his higher power moves if we're using rollout. I'll show you what I mean if I remember when we get to Red in about 5 to 7 working years with this Sudowoodo. We are very, very slow. I cannot wait to get the Quick Claw. I think the Quick Claw is going to be an imperative item for us throughout the course of this challenge. And I do like just how unbalanced Sudowoodo is. We have really good physical defense, we have a really good physical attack, half decent HP, and then everything else is a bit naff. Special attack, special defense, and speed aren't great, so we'll just have to deal with it. And we're very lucky that 6 out of the 8 gym leaders in Johto are physical attacking gym leaders. Now, we are going to go and take a quick PP heal now. We have to do a PP heal at some point with our Sudowoodo, and that is just to make sure that we don't run out of PP for Bugsy or rival number 2. We'll take on Josh, a slightly risky battle here, but Poison Powder Mist, thank goodness for that. And that means we are now ready for Bugsy, our second gym leader together today. He is a Bug-type specialist who leads with a Metapod. We're going to use Rollout. Let's see how it goes. 2 shots on the Metapod growing to 17, Kakuna comes out, we one-shot it, and then Rollout is going to be quad super effective against the Scyther. He gets 1 hit in, we grow to level 18, and that is Bugsy's lot. 853 for the Hive badge. Not a bad little start for our Sudowoodo. Let's keep it up as we take on rival number 2. This time he is going to lead with his Ghastly. Now, what should we do with the Ghastly? Should we risk a Rollout? We've been paralysed. Rollout was bad. That's the trouble with Rollout when you've got low speed. And we missed. First reset of the challenge. That reset counter hasn't updated. I will do that in a moment. Let us brute force this. This is always an annoying battle if you are slow and weak to the grass type, or the water type, or the fire type. It will happen eventually. There we go. Lick didn't paralyse. We're in with a shout. Poison Powder Mist. We've got the win now. Maybe. We hope. Yes, we have. Bloody hell. Rival there being very, very, very annoying. Reset counter's still slightly inaccurate. Let me fix that. Unfortunately, my controller trigger for the reset counter can be a little bit on the wonk, so take it as a rough estimate as opposed to gospel. Now we do need to get our way through this forest. I'm hoping that will be the worst rival battle. I do think Rollout was the best idea there because Rock Slide is also 90% accurate, so we'd have been in the same situation with that, and we'd need a Rock Slide to hit through the Bayleaf and, of course, the Zubat, because neither of those would have much done to them by ground-type moves. Now, Ethers are going to be very, very important in this challenge, to the point where I'm thinking about factoring in an extra max Ether that we can get. Somebody very kind mentioned that I can pick up TM12 here, which I completely negate to do every single time, but that is an extra 500 Pokédollars to go towards our vitamin shop, so we'll absolutely try and remember that in every single challenge that's coming up. Probably won't remember it in them all, but I will make a good attempt to. Now, the trouble with the Rock type in Generation 2 is that it is hideously inaccurate. I think the only 100% accurate Rock type move that isn't Hidden Power is Ancient Power, and that only has 5 PP, and it's a bit moot to talk about it anyway, because our bloody Sudowoodo doesn't learn it. If it did learn it, I probably would have taken Ancient Power, because I think the Omni Boost is absolutely worth it for this Sudowoodo. Let's get the bike, and then let us register the correct item. And then we will go into the underground here. We've got 2 mandatory battles in the underground, but I think I'll take on the Lickitung as well. Lickitung is nice, easy, free experience. We're going to put Earthquake in at slot 1 for the next little while as well, because we don't see many, if any, flying types for the next little part of this challenge, so it does make A little bit more sense to go for a 100% accurate, very high power move in that slot instead. At the moment, Earthquake is running just 12 base power points, lower than Rockside in terms of pure power there, so we definitely can afford to have Earthquake in slot 1. The annoying thing about running both Rock and Ground is we don't get our badge boosts for them until Kanto. We need to get Brock's badge boost for the Rock type moves, and then we need to get Blue's badge boost for the Ground type moves, so that is going to be a little bit annoying, but we shall make do. It's kind of risky to take on Walt today, because we could get status, but fortunately we got the luck that we needed. We're going to go past Juggler in there, we're never going to face him, and today we're going to talk to this teacher and get the old Quickie C. The Quickie C is going to be very, very good for us. We'll stick it on right now. We're not even going to wait until the next time we menu with this Quick Claw this time, because we need to outspeed as many things as we can, and if we can't do it in our own base stats, we're going to have to do it in an artificial way. Oh, bloody hell, I forgot that this Abra has Flash. This was a mistake taking him on. We'll eventually get through, I hope. We're just going to get through the Kadabra here. There we go. Wasn't as bad as it could have been. And we will take on Alan as well. Alan's got a Tangler. Hopefully the Tangler won't do too much damage to us and we'll be able to two-shot it. We flinched it. Absorb's not doing much. There we go. And so now, after having a little chat with Florio, we will do a very quick heal here in the Pokemon Center, and we'll be ready to go into gym number 3. This is Whitney's normal type gym. We resist the normal type, but we don't resist rollout. One of the very first things I learned while doing challenge running is that Rock does not resist Rock. What's the point in scary facing me, Snubble? We're already slow as heck. Anyway, let's take Whitney on. We've got a 2-level advantage over her. She is a normal type specialist, leads with Clefairy. I'm going to try rollout again here. Sonic Boom! Rude! 2 shots on the Clefairy there. Here comes the cow. And we're both rolling out, and we have a better rollout than Whitney. So we win. Easy, easy, easy Whitney battle there. Plain badge acquired in 15 minutes and 20 seconds. Not bad stuff. Rollout did us well there. It's not going to do as well throughout every single battle as we saw against that rival number 2. But I still am sticking to my guns and saying that Rollout was a good choice for this Pokemon. We ended up on our original Sudowoodo challenge using Rollout at the very end. And I think it is going to be beneficial throughout the course of this one. The fighting type move, by the way, that I mentioned earlier, I was going to go for Dynamic Punch. I thought that 50% chance to hit, 100% chance to confuse, if it does hit, might have been worth it. Now we have Treeception here. We're going to run away and leave that other tree alone. We're not going to do any harm to it today, because we are running our own tree, and I don't like tree-on-tree violence, whatever that means. Let us now, though, head up towards Olivine City. How do we want to do Ecruteak and Olivine today? I think we just go straight there. And up towards the Lighthouse. Forgot to stick on the rappel, but what's this rat going to do? Not a lot at all. I do actually think today Beauty Olivia might be worth taking on. She's a bit rubbish, and we should be able to one-shot her very slow Corsola, and she's not bad experience, considering she's not a hard battle. We'll get the Kampu Nugget and the Mint Berry, and oh, bloody hell, I didn't mean to enter a battle with Norman. Rockslide might one-shot, but it doesn't. But we do get the 2-shot. Thank goodness his Pokemon are slower than ours. Suppose it's in the name for them, and a critical hit means we did not get punished. I will take on both Derek and Ruth today. I think they're both going to be fairly harmless trainers. I say that, and then they double team. But that's Ruth done. Let's reunite the married couple today with Derek as well. And then we can get ourselves into Olivine. Thank goodness we can now Pokemon Center heal when we go to Olivine. I'm going to skip as many Sailors as possible as well in this one, because they are not going to be good for our Sudowoodo. They have a lot of Water-type moves behind them, and you've seen how we go with Water-type moves with our special defense. We have a very, very bad time of it. We're going to set our TP spot here, and we're also going to do the heal, and then we'll have a little chat with the man in the cafe, get ourselves strength so we don't have to remember it later. And with that, we'll get to the top of the lighthouse. Now, Jasmine's probably going to have to wait quite a while for us today to battle her, but we will start her request of getting the secret potion. We'll get the rare candy at the same time. We will leave here and we'll do our next heal in the Pokemon Center. I'm also going to very, very quickly change the time back to morning, so we have that nice yellow palette, and then we'll cycle back to Air Critique. That's a really annoying place for the bike shop call, but at least we've got it, so we don't get pestered by it again throughout the course of this challenge. We're going to go straight into the Burnt Tower now. We're going to plonk on a rappel, mustn't forget to do that, because we are ready for the third and middle rival battle. This time he is going to lead with his Haunter. Haunter swears at us, we don't outspeed it, but we do knock it out with one Earthquake. Bayleaf is next, Poison Powder has missed. We're going to take a bit of damage from Razor Leaf, but thank goodness Rock Slide hit this time. We'll use Earthquake against the Magnemite, and as long as this Rock Slide connects, which it does, we get the win. It wasn't a particularly clean win, but it was a win. We'll now fall through the floor, we will release the beasts, and after I've grabbed the HP up, it'll be time for Morty. And now, after defeating all of Morty's gym trainers, we can take on Morty himself. He is going to be our fourth gym leader together today. He is a dual Ghost and Poison type spectacular leader. He leads with Ghastly. I'm going to try Rollout. It's probably going to be the best way for us to one-shot all of his Pokemon. I'm not confident about the Gengar, but we do manage to one-shot it. I think we are through now regardless. Rollout putting in the work there. I will concede that was a good time using Rollout. We got ourselves TM30, which is Shadow Ball. We'll sell that for a little bit of extra money. And now we mustn't forget to do the Kimono Girls. So far, so good with the Kimono Girls. We one-shot everything barring the Umbreon, which did take 2 shots. And now we can finish off this last Jolteon to get through them all. Our reward is the raft, which we can use to cross the open seas. And that's exactly what we will be doing right about now, because we're going to keep on heading east. We'll use a Super Potion here because we do want to take on some of the optionals here. I think it's going to be beneficial for our Sudowoodo to take on some optionals. The first, of course, lives here in Mount Mortar. It's everybody's favourite cool trainer. He's not a cool trainer at all. He's a Pokemaniac, but it's Miller. We do outspeed Miller just about now with his Nidoking and Nidoqueen. And even though we have 14 levels over them, they still give a lot of good experience points. Still not got the hang of getting past him, unfortunately, so I do get caught by him every so often. We'll go and use another Repel in here, and what should we do today? We do need to get the berry to begin with, and then I think we will go up here. Do want to take on Lickitung Man, he's good experience as well, so we'll use another Earthquake here to one-shot that, and then we can take on possibly the Slowbro Man. Might have been a mistake, we shall see in a moment. Water Gun does next to nothing, that's fine. And I will now use another Ether, already down to just 2 Ethers, goodness me, to take on Ron. Ron has his Nidoking, that's going to be another one-shot, getting us up to level 32. And now what we will do is we will go up to the Gyarados, and we'll engage it in battle. It's another red Gyarados today, we're waiting another day for the elusive blue Gyarados. We'll throw a couple of rocks at the Gyarados, it will disappear. And now we can have a little chat with Lance the Liar with the Flyers. He wants us to investigate something going on in Mahogany, so you know what, why not? We're already here, we can get a Max Ether going this way. And it's not a long walk at all. Let's go in, and I'll do the rockets now. You didn't think I was going to make you sit through that, did you? It's 5 minutes of my life I'm never getting back. Well, 4.5 minutes, but we did get through the rocket section fairly easily. We'll get out, and you know what? We'll do Pryce next. We never do Pryce 5th. This is very weird. Sudowoodo's a little bit cursed, but yes, Pryce is our 5th gym leader together today. Ice Type Specialist leads with a Seal. And I think I'm going to try Rollout again here. Oh, that's why I don't like Rollout. But fortunately the Seal is having a little bit of a snooze. It's 2 shots on the Seal to finish it off. It's going to be 2 shots on the Piloswine to finish it off as well. And then if our last Rollout hits, then we will claim the victory. Very good stuff there against Pryce, getting the Glacier Badge in 29 minutes and 20 seconds. Now that we've got that, we're going to teleport all the way back to Olivine City. We managed to do all of that without taking a heal in a Pokemon Center. And that means we can, at long bloomin' last, cross the seas over towards Cyanwood City. And the reason I did the rockets there was just to give us some extra levels for Pryce, because while he's probably not going to hit us too hard with his fighting type moves, because we do have 115 in the physical defense, his Poliwrath does have Surf, and that is kind of scary. So I wanted to get a few extra early levels going at about 36 or so for Pryce, and that does also mean we have a greater chance of outspeeding at least the Primeape. I doubt we will, but we live in hope. There we go, gym trainers have been defeated. We can move on to Chuck. Chuck is gym leader number 6 today out of a total of 16. He is a fighting type specialist, leads with Primeape. Leah has failed and we one-shot the Primeape. Off to a very, very good start there. How much does Earthquake do? About half. We tank a Surf, we two-shot, we win. Chuck, you suck. Storm Badge acquired in a time of 31 minutes and 28 seconds. We'll now have a little chat with Chuck's wife. She's going to give us the air balloon, and she also gives us a HM that we can't use. And that means we can now do a little bit of housekeeping before taking on the big threat that is Jasmine. That's the housekeeping done. I did also go and do a quick vitamin shop, so we are now at maximum potential attack for this point of the challenge. And I have also gone and grabbed the soft sand from the 3 training people at the south of Goldenrod. With that, we can give the secret potion to Jasmine. She will give it to Amphi in turn, and now we've got to dig in for what might be a bit of a war of attrition against Jasmine. She's got Iron Tail, which is supposedly 75% accurate. We've got Earthquake. We've both got very high defenses. It could go either way. Let's see how we go. This is Jazz. She is our 7th gym leader. Leads with Magnemite. Nice, easy start. Here comes the Steelix. How much do we do? Quite a bloody lot. Goodness me. We two-shot Steelix with a physical move. That's genuinely shocked me. So, no need to worry. Jazz is fine. Didn't land a hit on us. We get the call from Professor Elm. That means we have one place and one place only to go. Let's go through the ice path. Oh, I am so happy with how that battle went. I genuinely thought we'd be in 3 or 4 shot range. The fact that we got a consistent 2-shot there, that is really bloody good. And that makes me feel a lot more positive about things like Blue's Rhydon much later on in the course of this challenge. If we can get through Steelix, we're in with a good chance of getting through Rhydon fairly easily. That is one of the big threats in the course of this challenge. The Rhydon as well as Lance's Dragonite I think are going to be a pain. And Clair's Kingdra. We must never ever discount Clair's Kingdra. But I am thinking maybe Rollout for Clair as well. It's served us well so far. Sudowoodo, to be fair, is one of very few Pokemon where I think Rollout is a good idea. Because we've got huge attack to begin with. And the fact that Rollout then gets Stab, it does turn it from a relatively mediocre move. I know a lot of people will disagree with me with that. But Rollout is not a good move for most challenge run purposes into a very powerful tool as long as it bloody hits. And therein lies the issue. It's only 90% accurate, and that means it often doesn't hit when you want it to. We've got enough money for our repels, thank goodness for that. That means we can now go down here. We'll grab this elixir. I just parked my arse in front of her today. That was entirely my fault. We'll get the nugget, I'll get the revive to sell for some cash money moolah. And we do absolutely want the extra PP up today, and we definitely want this extra Prosecure Berry. We want one for Clair, one for Lance. That is a very good idea with those. Let's go into the Pokemon Center, and let's now go and take on Rival 4. This rival battle has the potential to be a little bit harder than the others, mostly because he's going to lead with his Golbat. By the way, if you're wondering why the rival has Chikorita over a Totodile, it's because Totodile is bad. It doesn't have very good moves. Golbat goes for Bite and flinches us, but that does mean we're not being confused. Here comes the Meganium. It uses Reflect. That's very annoying, but we can counter that with a crit. Magnemite is still going to be Earthquake one-shot, even with the Reflect up. Same with the Haunter. They've both got very low in the physical defenses. And then it should be a one-shot on the Sneasel as well. That crit saved the battle there. That was very easy. Now, it turned out that we had a little issue with the timer. during the Jasmine section. I broke for lunch, so I made sure that the time was hard paused so that I didn't accidentally knock my controller. I have fixed it, I've resynced everything, and our time for the mineral badge was 35 minutes and 55 seconds. So that is not a bad little pace at all. We're doing very, very well so far. Of course, it can all change. We've got a very difficult gym leader coming up after we have defeated these rockets. And so we have made it to the very top of the radio tower, where we've got just one more executive to take care of. This one should be a fairly smooth affair. The worst that could happen there was a couple of flinches from Bite, and that did not happen. So we are through the rockets once and for all for yet another challenge. 47-minute rockets when we've got base 30 speed is not a bad time at all. We've got no normal moves today, so we're not going to bother getting the pink bow. However, we are going to get the radio card. We do need that to get through the Kanto section of this challenge. As always, it's 11212 to get the radio card. And now with that, we'll get on our air balloon and we'll make our way into Blackthorn. Now, I think it's going to be nothing short of a miracle if we get through this gym quickly. It's not so much the offensive capabilities of our Sudowoodo I'm worried about. It's more our complete lack of speed. We probably will not be able to outspeed much in this gym, and that is going to be a problem, because Thunder Wave is very, very, very prevalent throughout the course of this gym, so it's probably going to be a case of going in, out, and in against heal quite a bit. We're also not able to one-shot Pokemon like the Seadra, and as a result we're going to take chip damage. We do have some healing items in the bag, so as long as we're not statused, we don't have to go back to the Pokemon Center, but it's still not going to be the most pleasant journey through this gym. Going to be using Rock Slide as and where I can, just to try and get a few bits of chip damage here and there against the opponents. We're down to 46 HP now. I do think I picked up Hyper Potion just for this occasion. Yes, I did. Now, this is going to be one of the litmus tests for this gym. This is called Trainer Mike with his Dragonair. How much do we do with Rock Slide? We won't know because we missed and we're paralysed. We hit on turn 2, but that was a one-shot. Right. We have learnt that Rock Slide is a one-shot against level 37 Dragonair with the Cool Trainer DVs. Now, Clair's DVs are slightly different. I believe that their defense is ever so slightly higher. So we are not guaranteed to one-shot, even though we one-shot that Dragonair. I'm hoping that we'll have enough levels via Lola here in order to get to the next level. Let us use Rock Slide here. We grow a little bit. Come on, Dragonair, give us enough experience points. Yes, we are level 48. That makes me feel a tiny bit better. Let's engage Clair in battle now. She's a Dragon-type specialist that leads with that pesky Dragonair. Rock Slide, one shot, brilliant. Here comes Kingdra. Smokescreen is awful. She's healing. I'm not calling it a healing loop because we are at such low accuracy. We have disposed of the Kingdra. We've got one more Rock Slide that needs to hit. It has. We are first trying Clair. Goodness me, we should not have been able to do that. That is absolute ridiculousness on our part. I can totally understand why Clair isn't too happy about forking a badge over. We are going to use our super potions to get back up to full health because we've got this nasty piece of work to contend with. How much does Earthquake do? It's a one-shot as well. That meant we probably didn't have to panic quite as much as we did. Soft Sand Earthquake might have got us through as well. But then again, it might not have done enough against the Kingdra. We'll Whirlpool, and now we will answer the second same questionnaire in this clip. It's double 1, 2, 1 and 2. And this time, instead of a radio card, we just get a gym badge. We are obtaining the Rising badge in a time of 50 minutes and 36 seconds. We're not quite sub 50 minute, Clair, but there is absolutely no shame at all in a 50-minute Clair split for Sudowoodo with how low our speed is, how low our special defense is. That is something we can all be really, really proud of. And getting Clair's badge means we are now en route towards the Pokemon League in a very, very good time, considering all the little drawbacks that we have having a Sudowoodo. Our speed fell. That doesn't matter in the slightest. The rock type really is screwed over in Generation 2. If we had a 100% accurate move with more than 5 PP that was on more than like 3 rock types, we would have a much better time of it. Rock really is just one of those types. It has nothing great going for it. So we do have to kind of compromise, especially in 4 moves where we can't chop and change the learn set, quite like we can in the classic time challenges. At the moment, I'm really enjoying the commitment and the peril that is in the 4 moves challenge. I really like having my decisions at the beginning of the game affect the entire course of the challenge, because we could have a brilliant ride and then a terrible red fight like we've seen quite a few times already in 4 moves, or we could have a bit of a rocky ride throughout the course of the challenge and then completely steamroll red because the learn set was designed around the red battle. It's kind of a half and half in this one, I've got to be honest. Earthquake and Rock Slide are general good moves anyway, but then Rollout and Mud Slap are specifically catered for the red battle. We are now in Victory Road, so we will get our 1 HP up that we get in this corner here. That's the only item we need to pick up because we've already got Earthquake and it's not worth buying or selling anything else apart from the full restores now. We will engage the rival in 1 final battle. He's going to lead with Sneasel. Sneasel screams bloody murder at us, but we'll Earthquake it away. We're going to Rock Slide the Meganium. He finally landed his Poison Powder. Round of applause there for the Meganium, getting that Poison Powder off at last. I know he's been trying quite a lot throughout the course of this challenge to land it. I'm glad he finally did. We'll one-shot the Haunter and the Magneton. Future Sight is going to mean nothing as we get rid of the Kadabra. And then Rock Slide should hopefully hit just like that. And we are through the rival on our first attempt. That was a smooth rival battle. Apologies, there's going to be tiny bits of flashing just as we heal up here. There's nothing we can do about it, unfortunately. We will now buy our full restores. We'll need them or we won't. And we'll take a look at our stats going into the league. We are level 51 with 161 HP. Holding the Quick Claw now, 4 moves are Earthquake, Rock Slide, Rollout and Mud Slap. 145 in attack, 159 in defense, 70 in special attack, 105 in special defense, and just 66 in speed. Don't forget, those are just the out of battle stats. We will get a big buff in battle in a moment against Will. Now, I don't know if we're going to get sub-hour league. We've got exactly 6 minutes to do it. Our issue is going to be our speed stat. That will be the big problem. I can also see Bruno causing a little bit of grief, but I think the rest of the league should be fairly smooth, providing the Quick Claw activates. Let's see how we get on now as we start with Will. Will is our first league member. He is a Psychic type specialist, and he's going to lead with Xatu. We Rock Slide, we connect, we one-shot. Brilliant. Perfect start there. We Rock Slide this Executor. It uses Psychic, doesn't do too much damage, we 2-shot it. Slowbro is third, we are going to keep on using Rock Slide here. Swearing at us isn't great, and we've missed, and we take more Psychic damage. We get a flinch, finish it off with Earthquake, use the 100% accurate move. We can Earthquake the Jinx, she doesn't bother with the status because we are at such low HP. If Rock Slide connects, we shall win, but we get crit. Take 2 at Will. Let's see if we can do any better this time. Still leading with Xatu, we still outspeed, we still one-shot, and we've got Executor up next. Rock Slide hits, Psychic hits back, and we get a Spadef drop. Bum. That's not what we want to see. Please go for Amnesia or Flinch, even better. 2-shot on the Slowbro. The Xatu's out next. We Rock Slide, we win, possibly. Possibly. Yes, we do. Quick Claw proc saves the day. Will has been defeated. Let's move on to Koga. For Koga, we are going to use one of our full restores. We'll move them to a more sensible place in the bag. While we're at it, we will move our Max Repels up here as well. And I'm going to use an Elixir. Let's take on Koga. He is a Poison type specialist. We've got a Ground type move. It should hopefully be a fairly trivial affair. We missed our first Rock Slide, but our second connects as we grow up to level 52. Fortress is next. Not got anything great for it. Please just don't go bang. Double flinch, we take it. Muck, Earthquake to the face, goes down in 1. And then we have Venomoth. We've been confused, which is annoying, but Venomoth can't really do that much apart from stall us. And we are getting very unlucky with the confusion. A Rock Slide takes care of it once and for all, though. If we can connect with a single Rock Slide, we will win. Just like that. Double team is no more. You absolute scumbag, Koga, but we win anyway. Time for another full restore. And now it's time to knuckle down, if you'll excuse the pun, because we've got the fighting type next. This is Bruno. If anyone's going to cause us grief, it's going to be Bruno. Fighting type specialist leads with Hitmontop. We'll use Earthquake against Hitmontop. We crit and we knock it out in one. Hitmon leads next. Swagger. Swagger would have been great. If we lose, I've got an idea of what we could do. But we get another crit. Here comes Onyx. There goes Onyx. It's us versus Machamp. Cross shot misses. I know nothing about this game. Bruno, done. Let's move on to Karen. Full restore, and we are going to use our rare candies now. We will use all of them, get ourselves up to level 59. Going to stick on a HP up at the same time, and I am going to use a Bitter Berry, just to give us the best chance of getting through Karen. She is the Dark type specialist, and she leads with Umbreon. Rock Slide connects, and it crits. What is going on? Bloody hell's bells. We're paralysed. And that's fine. I'll use an elixir at the same time, actually. There we go. Let's try Karen again. Earthquake connects. Confusion isn't great, but I'm just hoping that we are able to two-shot this Vileplume. We get the flinch, didn't even need the berry after all of that. Gengar comes out to play, it swears at us, so we are on a clock, but we one-shot it with Earthquake. Murkrow comes out next, we'll throw a rock at its face, and it goes down. And then we will make the Earthquake underneath the Houndoom, and we get through Karen. Sub-Hour League is not likely, but it is looking less and less unlikely. We're just going to use a full restore here. We've still got a Prosecure Berry. Let's take on Lance. He is the Liar with the Flyers, and he's going to lead with Gyarados. It's going to be a two-shot on this Gyarados with Rollout. Unfortunately, we take a lot of damage from Surf. Up next, this is Charizard. Wing Attack does negligible damage, and Rollout misses. That's fine, though, because Rollout is quad super effective against the Charizard. The first Dragonite comes out to play, and Rollout has missed yet again. This is why Rollout is a bad move. This is why Rollout is a very, very, very bad move. We try again. He's going straight for Surf this time. Maybe he Rain Dances on turn 2, just like that. 126 HP as the Dragonite comes out, and we've been frozen. For goodness sake. We're not having any luck, are we? Sub-Hour League's out the window now. We'll try and get a decent time regardless. Surf hits, doesn't crit, we two-shot the Gyarados. We are on to Dragonite number 1 again. Thunder Wave has missed. That means that providing we connect, we are not getting paralysed. The next Dragonite comes out, we connect. Paralysis is now out of the question. His third Dragonite comes out, we connect once more. Rollout is doing its job. And here comes the Charizard. We'll swap to a Rock Slide now against the Charizard. We get rid of it in one hit. And here comes Aerodactyl. He's Rock Sliding us, and we are getting balls luck. We go down. Absolute friggin' nonsense there. Oh, I am so annoyed. I thought we were getting Sub-Hour League. This is why I rarely run Rollout. Because it's absolute bollocks, if you'll excuse my French. It is a really, really, really bad move. However, it is the best move we have to get through this battle. We are making the best of a bad situation here. Because it's a 90% accurate move. It's quicker than using a... It's quicker than using a Rock Slide because it is one action as opposed to multiple. And the only difference is it's a two-shot on the Gyarados. So it really is just 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Rock Slide would one-shot the Dragonite as well, I do believe. We've been flaming paralysed. I'm getting very, very, very tilted here. It's not very often I get tilted, but this one is really annoying me. Because Rock has been absolutely screwed over by Game Freak here. If we had a good Rock-type move, we would completely destroy Lance's day. There is absolutely no two ways about it. But we don't have a good Rock-type move, so we are stuck with absolutely awful ones instead. We get through the second to last Dragonite. If we connect, we win. We do connect, we're through. Thank goodness for that. Lance is down. 101-41 for Lance. We should have been through a lot sooner ago, but the RNG was not in our favour in that battle, unfortunately. Nothing we can do. Let's get our final Hall of Fame time for our Sudowoodo. We are clocking in at 101.57. Let's take a look at the midpoint leaderboard. And our Lance split of 101.41 puts us in 17th, second from last on our 4 moves leaderboard. No great shame in that. We would have been about 14th had we had the luck at that battle. If we put it on the All Crystal midpoint leaderboard, we're probably going to be towards the end, yeah. We're in 84th place on our All Crystal midpoint leaderboard. Still not a bad time, all things considered. We are in company of some legendaries on that page. And we're even ahead of some legendaries on the next page. I got very frustrated in that last battle as well, didn't I? It just shows. Rollout is one of those moves, it really, really gets on my nerves because of how unlucky I seem to get with it. But this is still only half the story. We do have another 8 gym badges plus the red fight left to come. And it could all change. So I tell you what, don't you dare go anywhere because Kanto is next. And now we are rejoining the action as we always do here in Vermilion City, where the first thing we'll do is grab a rare candy from the chairman of the Pokemon fan club. And with that safely tucked away in our bag, we are ready to take on the Cantonian Gauntlet of Gym Leaders. Going to take a little bit of a risk here by doing Surge first. Doing Surge first is the most efficient routing through Kanto, so I really hope that we are able to defeat him on our first attempt. Just as a little bit of insurance, we will hold on to our other Purr's Cure Berry. We picked up 2 just for this, so we don't have to go and get the one by Super Nerd Tom. And we shall take him on. Surge is our first of 8 Cantonian gym leaders. Electric type specialist leads with Raichu. We got thundered and paralysed straight away there. That's not great. Electrode's going to double team. We'll eventually hit through his double teams. They can't really do anything damaging to us. Magaton's going to go down in one. It is slower than us, even though we've only got 90 base speed. Here comes Electrode number 2. Goes for Swift. They have 1, 2, 3 speed. And here is Electabuzz. Light Screen is meaningless. Surge got a little bit foolish there. And we're not going to complain because that gives us the Thunder Badge. That is the first of 8 badges down. Let us get straight into our next area, which is going to be Celadon City. Because I've been doing so much Supermon, I have to remember this routing. It's a little bit different to Supermon because we don't do the storyline all at once because we have to play a lot more efficiently. Now, this next gym should be fairly easy, even though we are going to be weak to the grass type because Earthquake's going to run neutral on any grass poison types, and there's also a couple of grass flying in there as well. It's really only the Executor line that is going to be the problem here. Everything else we've got something at least half decent for. We land our rock slide there on that Executor, which is absolutely fantastic. And now we've got some bugs here. I'm going to try a rollout and see what happens. Might not be the wisest move, but it will be quickest to get through if they all land just like that. That wasn't so bad. Now let us use a quick Super Potion, and we will hold on to the Quick Claw as well. I don't think many of Erica's Pokemon are particularly fast, but it's still worth holding on to. This Tangle is going to be a 2-shot. I hope for a flinch. Giga Drain is absolutely fine. You didn't status us. That is what I was worried about. 1 or 2 shot on the Victory Bell there. Blossom comes out to play. It's probably going to be a 2-shot. She's probably going to Sunny Day if she gets a hit off at all. We high roll on turn number 2, and now we've got a super effective Rock Slide for the Jumpluff. Not the cleanest Erica battle in the world, but we shall take it. 105.57 for the Rainbow Badge. Let's get on the bike now and let's get ourselves down the cycling road. I don't think we need the extra max elixir today, so we'll do the very quick movement here. And we'll bang into Birdkeeper Bob. He's got a Noctowl. We will use a rollout. It will be a one-shot regardless. Growing up to level 63, and we get through him very, very easily. That brings us in to Janine's gym. Now, Janine is very, very bad at her job. She's lower than most of the Pokemon League. In fact, she's lower than all of the Pokemon League, and she's lower than most of the Johto leaders in the late game as well. So really, she should be around maybe Morty, Chuck kind of level. It's about how hard she is anyway. Sudowoodo's going to have no issues whatsoever here. We will use a combination of our rock and ground type moves to get rid of her very, very easily. She knew her fate there, didn't even bother with a dire hit. And that is the Soul Badge in 106.58. Let's leave here now and we shall go back to Saffron City. I am not doing our quick Saffron routing today because I think it'll end up being slower because Sudowoodo is not particularly fast, so I think Sabrina would be a little bit tricky to take on second. Hate this guy, hate him with a passion. We get past him, although I do bump into that Spitter. I don't have the Lantern, by the way, so I'm not going to do Rock Tunnel on screen. Not with how I'm playing at the moment. There we go, we're through the other side, and I have just dipped into the Route 10 Pokemon Center as well. That means we can have a little chat with the manager here in the power plant, see what he's got to say for himself. He seems as angry as I was throughout the last battle there. Maybe he had rollout as well, and it missed, and while he was distracted while it was missed, that's when someone snuck in and stole the machine part. You never know, stranger things have happened. Gonna do the quick Cerulean City movement here to get ourselves into the gym. We mustn't ever dip into the Pokemon Center here while we're doing Nugget Bridge as well, and that's exactly what we're doing now. And in this one, I want to talk about a little bit of the things I do to try and get myself pumped up for challenge runs, because while I'm never ever aiming for the best possible times, I still want to get invigorated, I still want to be energetic, and I still want to get as good a time as I possibly can with the parameters I have set for the challenge. And one of the things I've really gotten into at the moment is listening to a lot of 90s and noughties, Eurodance, trance, house, that kind of music. And I tell you what, ever since I've started doing it, my times have improved. And it reminded me of something that I read a very long time ago. Apparently McDonald's has different playlists that they play depending on how busy they are. And if they're very busy, they'll play a lot of fast music to try and get the customers leaving quicker. Because there's something psychological and subconscious about it, that if you hear faster music, you're more inclined to do things a little bit quicker. So I'm definitely going to be curating this playlist an awful lot more. A couple of the featured artists on the moment are Underworld. You might know them from Train Spotting, because they recorded a song called Born Slippy Nux, which I think was fairly heavily featured throughout Train Spotting. I really like Little Speaker and 2 Months Off by them. They're two of my favourite songs at the moment. Very much listening to them. There's a lot of Prodigy, a lot of Basement Jacks, a lot of just really up-tempo music. With some very strange lyrics, I will concede at times, especially from Underworld. It's very much a stream of consciousness lyrics. If you like how I talk in challenge runs, their music is ostensibly the same kind of thing, where there's no real kind of meaning behind it. It's just what was in the brain of the people at the time when they had the microphones on them. And I really like that kind of music. No wonder it matches me to a bloody T, doesn't it? Oh, Misty, don't. Just don't. I'm not in the mood. Had an absolutely rotten time of it with points here on Sudowoodo's challenge. Yeah, we get through. Thank goodness for that. I don't have to curse you out, Misty. Let's get ourselves a machine part, and we can now get back to the power plant eventually, if we use the rental Abra and not fumble about in the bag. We are saving Sabrina, by the way, until probably after Blaine, because that will give us the best chance of getting through. We're going to hold on to the Quick Claw permanently now, I think, for the rest of this challenge as well. Let's return the machine part to the man here in the power plant. He'll be very happy with us. And now that we have the Expan card from the director of the radio tower, we can go and use the Poké Flutes here at the Snorlax So yeah, that kind of music, really, really been into it. I think one of the very first albums that I was allowed to buy, and I don't know how I got away with it, was music for the Jilted Generation by The Prodigy. That must have been in the very early 90s. I can't have been much older than about 5 or 6 when I bought that album. I still, to this day, cannot believe I was allowed to buy it as a very, very small child. But I listened to it endlessly on repeat. It's ingrained in my DNA, I think. I am very much one of those people. If I was born 20 years earlier, I'd probably be doing the rave circuit every night. I'd have to be a little bit more social, actually, as well. I've got a very, very, very small social battery. So maybe the rave night once every 6 months, and then use the other 5 months and 30 days to rest and recover, and then go back to another rave. Kind of sounds like a good idea. I've always wanted to go to Creamfields Festival, actually, in the UK. I think that would be a very, very fun time for somebody who's into the kind of music I am. I know that a lot of my favourite bands and artists have played there over the years, so it's something I will definitely look into at some point. Never ever been to a festival, never ever been to a concert, though, so it would be a brand new experience. It's the kind of thing I like doing from time to time, though. I like spreading my wings and doing something that I wouldn't normally ever do. It's taken a lot of time to build up the confidence to allow myself to do things that I wouldn't ever normally do as well, though. Because I'm one of those people, I always struggle with confidence. Especially when it's to do with socialising and doing things with other people. Obviously, being autistic and having an autistic experience growing up, it's going to dampen your view on how to socialise. But we make the best of it. Here's Blaine's title card covering the battle, because that's how little respect we've got for him. We say goodbye to McCargo. Here comes the Bumphead Fireduck. There goes the Bumphead Fireduck, and we've just got Rapidash left to go. Fire Blast misses. We get the victory, and we are through Blaine. Volcano badge in a time of 1:14:14. Let's get ourselves back to Saffron. We are ready to take on Sabrina now. I think we are going to be at the fastest possible speed for Sabrina. Let's take her on. She is, of course, a Psychic-type specialist who's going to lead with Pescion. We either outspeed or get the Quick Claw proc. We knock it out in one. Mr. Mime's a little bit slower, so we do knock that out in one hit as well. Here comes the Alakazam. It uses Reflect, so it's going to be a 2-shot on Alakazam. Even with the recover, we should knock it out with a crit, and we get through very easily. Marsh badge in 1:14:54. That means we've got just one more gym leader to go now. It is, of course, Blue. He lives in Viridian City. We are going to take advantage of Nurse Joy being there in the Pokemon Center, and we will fall over the ledge because he's got a horrible placement for his gym. Although we can't blame him. He inherited it from Giovanni, didn't he? Let's take him on. He leads with Pidgeot. We'll throw some rocks at the Pidgeot. It will go down in one hit. Are you going to send out Rhydon next? Yes, you are. Earthquake, please do a lot. Fury attack. What are you on, mate? Oh, you switched, you sneaky sod. We'll have to get rid of your Gyarados for that, mate. Here's Rhydon again. We'll Earthquake it. We get rid of it. No need to worry. No need to panic. Executor, we will use a Rock Slide. He's got Solar Beam. Oh, Leech Seed. That's annoying more than anything else when you're running a low accuracy move. Didn't affect the ranges there, though, thank goodness. Earthquake, Quick Claw proc. No Reflect for you, mate. Arcanine's last. Flamethrower doesn't burn. And we one-shot. First time Blue. Very, very good stuff. 1:16:03 for the Mineral Badge. Not the Mineral Badge. What's it called? The Earth Badge. Earth, Mineral, same thing really, aren't they? Let us now chat with Professor Oak. He'll unlock Silver Cave for us, and that is our final destination for this challenge. We're going to get back to Viridian City. We will plonk on a Super Repel, and we'll take on the most difficult movement in all of the challenge. We do it just like that. Watch me mess up some easy movement now, because I did that so flawlessly. Let's dip into the Pokemon Center. We will heal next time we go back there. Chop down the trees. Yep, knew it. We'd fall over a ledge. Gonna get this rare candy. I'll tell you what, I'll use these 3 rare candies. I'll get ourselves through the first room of Silver Cave, and then we'll dig in for red. Had a very smooth time through that room for once. It doesn't happen too often these days at the moment, because I've been doing a lot of Supermon. We are now parked in front of red. Let's engage him in battle. He leads with Pikachu. Now, we are going to Mud Slap this Pikachu, and we are going to reorder our moves, and we're also going to try and hope for a Charm fail. That is the first hurdle at red. Charm has failed, Mud Slap has hit and done a lot of damage courtesy of a crit, goodness me. That means he's going to get in a healing loop with his Pikachu. He's withdrawn, he's sent out his Espeon, which isn't great for us. Are we able to two-shot it? No, we are not. Interesting that he withdrew there. I don't think I've ever seen him withdraw his Pikachu like that. We get another Charm miss this time. Rollout misses, Thunder misses. Thunder hits this time. Rollout does connect. And now he's in a healing loop. Pikachu has gone down. Espeon is next. We get hit by Psychic. How much does Rollout do on that turn? That's what I was expecting. Venusaur comes out to play. We can one-shot that. I think if we don't get hit by Thunder and if we get a couple of lucky Quick Claw procs, we could be in for a fairly easy red fight here. It's just about getting that luck. I do think as well Mud Slap on turn 1 is a very good idea here, because that will reduce the likelihood of Thunder missing. Of course, it doesn't mean it's guaranteed. And Thunder's hitting more than Rollout is hitting at the moment, because that's the kind of luck that we have. Just like that. I really don't know what it is with Red. His accuracy seems to be buffed. I know it's not, but it seems to be. We get a free turn of Rollout now. Thunder has missed, Rollout has missed. Rollout has hit, but we are only on a turn 1 Rollout, and we've missed. Oh, Rollout is really, really bad, isn't it? Let's try this again. Quick Claw proc would be nice as well. We've gotten super unlucky with the rollouts so far. Oh, it wasn't a consistent two-shot. Reflected does rollout and one-shot. Yes, it does. Venusaur's back, and we get rid of it. That brings him on to Blastoise, but the turn order there meant that we weren't able to do our tech. Ostensibly, if you're using rollouts, there is a 50% chance of the enemy using a trapping move such as Whirlpool or Fire Spin. And it just so happens that his Blastoise has Whirlpool and his Charizard has Fire Spin. So doing that gives us a much, much, much better chance of getting through. Because Surf will hit like an absolute truck, as will even Flamethrower with how low our special defense is. Oh, he withdrew again, for goodness sakes. We need the Quick Claw proc if he withdraws. Venusaur's back out. Do we one-shot? Yes, we do. Blastoise comes out, he's gone for Surf. I promise you it's a thing. I can't remember when I last demonstrated it, but it has been a while. This is just going to be a bit of a war of attrition here at Red, I think. Charm has missed. Thunder's missed. Rollout hits. But this is just a turn 1 rollout. We get through Peskeon. And we've missed. Of course we missed. Charm hits, we take a reset. Oh, these red fights at the moment are not going my way. I have had such bad luck on the time challenges with red fights. Some of it's my fault, but a lot of it is just really bad RNG. Like, we're getting status every single time we're getting hit by a move. We're missing moves when they're not 100% accurate. Back onto the Espeon, and we miss. For absolute goodness sake. If anybody ever suggests rollout as a viable strategy, I will just point them in the direction of this Sudowoodo challenge. This is how bad a rollout can be. And it was at this point I decided to turn the microphone off and just focus on the red battle. And what would you know, a couple of minutes later, we ended up clinching the victory. It's sod's law, isn't it? You turn something off, you think you're going to be in for a big old war of attrition, and then it just happens. Now, I have had a little bit of time to reflect on my choices made during the Sudowoodo challenge. I don't think they were great, to be honest. I think I was going for something and chasing an idea that just didn't materialise. But at the same time, I'm not sure what a better learn set would have been for this Sudowoodo. I think rollout did help in places. It definitely sped us up somewhere, but did it slow us down elsewhere? And the fact that we don't have a good rock type move means maybe hidden power rock could have been the play and just go for stab hidden power. We don't do it very often, but I reckon that could have caused a quicker time. It's one for a reader on a stream later this year, that is for absolute sure. But I'm still going to put this video up. I am always going to be completely open and honest. When I make a mistake, I make a mistake. And I think I did in this one. But should we see where it is on our leaderboard at the moment? We'll get it a better time much later on. Let's see where we are. We are in second from last, 17th place. Honestly, we are still only about 10 minutes shy of that front page of our 4 moves leaderboard. And we're quicker than some Flora, so we've got that going for us. Scyther through to Heracross on page 1 there. And if we take a look now at the all crystal leaderboard, I dread to think. Oh, 86, we're in the top 100. We're top half of the challenges, that makes me feel a little bit better. Who are we in between there? Raikou, what are you doing there? And Piloswine, goodness me. That was where we finished off, though, with this Sudowoodo. So yeah, I do think I made a few misplays. I do think that I committed to the wrong moves at the beginning of this challenge, but that's part of the fun of 4 moves. You have to use your instincts and your game knowledge to try and work out the best combination of 4 moves to get you through in the quickest possible time. Sudowoodo, I think, was a bit of a dud. I didn't make the right choices, but then again, I have made the right choices before. Just look at that, 59.24 for the full run for Scyther. So yeah, this is why I love this series. It's emotional, it's a roller coaster, it's draining at times like Supermon, but it is a hell of a lot of fun. And I really hope that you have had fun in this video as well. If you do Sudowoodo, please do let me know, by the way, what moves you chose and how much you demolished my time by.